Hi everyone. So, I was contacted by a client this morning, and the message that she wrote really kind of hit home for me. And it hit home for me because I have absolutely been there. She is talking about a romantic relationship, but really this could apply to a lot of different relationships. And I found myself doing it in multiple relationships, but it was really pronounced in my romantic relationships. So it's the people pleasing thing, right? A lot of us, it's ingrained in us to go above and beyond for the sake of people pleasing, for the sake of praise, even if we don't think that that's what we're doing. It's usually so that we can be viewed as the good girl, the good boy, the non problematic, the Good Samaritan, the all encompassing certified good boy, good girl. But really, what this is born of, in my experience, my personal experience, at least for me, it was, it's born of not enough, right? It's born of not being pretty enough, smart enough, funny enough, athletic enough, having big enough breasts, big enough ass, enough money in our wallet, whatever, right? Enough to be valued, right? Enough to be valued. And the feeling of not being enough to be valued as a human being. I mean, it's kind of pervasive because of the kind of society that we live in. Because usually a new member of the society was enough based on what they were going to contribute to the group as a whole. But now we're kind of in this energy collectively where contributing to the group as a whole isn't enough for individual interactions, like making friends and making romantic partnerships. Sure, we're a benefit to society, but that doesn't necessarily make us attractive or viable in a romantic sense, and it doesn't make us cool. So, I can absolutely empathize with those feelings, even though for me personally, I would put on a facade and like, I'm the best shit since sliced bread. And sometimes that works, confidence-wise, absolutely does. But then you go home, and it's quiet, and the world is quiet, and you're quiet, and you're left with your quiet thoughts. And what are those thoughts like? God, you're 40, and you don't have a husband. You're a single mother. You don't have a husband. Your business isn't making 6 figures. Your fupa is too whatever. Like you've got fupa going. Like nobody's gonna find you attractive. What the F? Look at your hair. It's dry. Your skin is dry. And that's the 5th pizza that you've eaten this week. Right now it's not true, but sometimes it is true. Sometimes in your quiet space, or maybe you do have a thriving career, but you're like, ugh, all I do is go to work and come home, and nobody thinks I'm fun enough to hang out with, or that I'm cool, or that I matter, or that I'm physically attractive enough to want to be with. And we start to devolve into lots of negative self-talk. You don't this, you don't that. Why didn't you this? Why didn't you that? Like it's this repetitive, angry, nitpicky fucking voice that won't shut the fuck up. And often what that nitpicky voice that won't shut up, does is attract more of the shit that makes it say, I don't know, look, I told you to work on that or get on this or do this, or I told you that you were blah, 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 right? So it often attracts more experiences to us that make us feel that way, especially in terms of romance. And a lot of times we'll engage in these behaviors in terms of romance or chasing a partner or whatever, that are like, we meet their minor expressions of interest with over exaggerations of what we can do for them in their life. Baby, let me upgrade you. You know, let me get you a new watch. Let me put you on to some new things. Let me teach you what it's like to have a real man, real woman, real blah, blah, blah in your life. You ain't never had one like me. Let me magic you up, whatever. Right? But when that isn't met with excitement or reciprocity, what happens then? Right? I'm going to tell you what happens, or at least what happened for me. It's a string of really, really roughly failed relationships that ultimately landed me in therapy because I couldn't figure out what the fuck I was doing wrong. What was I doing the same? So what I was doing the same was talking to myself in ways that were, I would never speak to another human being like that. I would never tell another human being, God, you're fucking annoying. I cannot believe anybody puts up with you. Or look at you, you're hideous. Or God, like your arm, actually that's still looking pretty good right now. But your arm, your arm flab, hold on, there we go. Let's make it jiggle. Your arm flab is, so like, who's gonna want you? No man is gonna want you with all of that flab that you got going on. Or your teeth are so crooked. I used to smile like this. You know why? When you see a picture of me, you rarely see me full teeth out smiling. It's because of that. So what you'll also find in lots of these experiences is people know. You know when you're giving someone the benefit of the doubt, right? When you go against your internal guidance, your better judgment, because you're going to prove to this person that you're great. You're the best thing since sliced bread. And then you're going to disprove that fucking voice. That shitty asshole voice in your head that tells you all this shit because you're going to get the hot girl or the hot boy. Or they're going to love you in this way or that way. Whatever. You're going to get the rich guy. And so on and so on and so on. You're going to get them. And you're going to make them value you in a way that you don't value yourself. And then they'll prove to you that you're worth valuing too. What flawed logic we can have, right? And we do it because we're told by this age we're supposed to have this thing, and by that age we're supposed to have done this thing, and again, social media posting people's marriages and relationship goals, and you see the older generation, it's like, oh, they stayed together. Yeah, your mothers stayed through abuse, or your fathers stayed because they were shamed into doing so, and then potentially either came shells of themselves, became abusive, whatever. Or they just were like, oh, I've given up on life and this is it. Right? So What the hell does that mean energetically? Right? We've got to go to our handy dandy journal gang. That's what we've got to do initially, so that we can talk about the real. Sorry, this is talk about the real. We can't notice a pattern in our existence until we begin to evaluate how the last 3 relationships, the last 2 interactions with maybe the opposite sex in terms of romance or the same sex or whatever, or in our interactions where we really wanted something to happen and it didn't. Not how it made us feel, but why we wanted it. Right? Why the hell did you want that guy? Why the hell did you want that girl? Why the hell did you ignore your own internal guidance system telling you that they were bad news or that they were kind of shit? Or you just flew right on past all them red flags about how their friends treated them, about how their family talked about them, about how your friends were kind of like, I don't know, or how uncomfortable you felt over and over again because the person wouldn't claim you, or because the person spoke to you in a certain way in public, or because, and these are not by any means grounds for dismissal, but what is grounds for dismissal is how the person handles it in private, in public, and how much regard they show for your feelings, right? And how often did you allow your feelings to be dismissed? You're too sensitive. You're too, you overthink everything and you just cause way more problems. You made such a big deal out of that. Right. These are the ways that we start to beat ourselves down and reinforce the negative shit. So let me go back and talk about some of the things that I did when I really needed some love and I needed to figure out. I knew what I wanted in a partner, right? I could say like, oh, I want them to look this way and I want their, excuse my language, but I want their dick to be this big and I want them to make this much money. But I remember not knowing how to flesh out how to treat me. I want them to treat me good. What does that mean? Is good treatment being taken out to dinner but being ignored? Is good treatment not having to worry about your bills, but the person is short with you? Or they are very dismissive? Is good treatment that maybe you don't have as much financial security, but you do have a lot of emotional support? That's on you to decide, right? So some of the things that I did to start bringing in the energy of love, not to attract a partner, I needed to raise my own vibration around my self-love. And what I mean by that is when you love yourself, like you love a partner, you don't want them to go without sleep. You don't want them to go without eating. You don't want them to be in a financial bind. You don't want them to not have the ability to work out, to be spoken negatively to. You don't want any of that, right? So why would you want those things for yourself? And why would you accept them in a relationship, friendship, or otherwise, job, opportunity, whatever, where you will accept something that you would shield your partner from? Now we're talking. You would accept something that you would shield your partner from. That's a beginning. And what I'm saying here is, you are a consciousness. Your body is your partner. And then at some point, you can integrate another being into your environment. But you are the consciousness that drives your partner. You're ever protecting, ever loving. Like, this thing gives us warning signs of not just bad people, but like when we're in danger, when things are going left. And instead of going, you know what, body, I got you. A lot of times we'll be like, it's all right, buddy. You can handle the brunt of this. I know that you can. Yikes. Yikes. So, back to what I did. One of the biggest things that really started to shift energy for me was baths. Some people don't like them. I absolutely need them. People are like, I want to marinate in my own soup. That's not what's happening for me. What's happening for me is that I am in a mutable element, right? An element, our skin is permeable. An element that accepts vibration well. I think it's Dr. Miyamoto wrote a book about how crystalline structures made from water change based on the things that are said to them and the energies that are expressed to them. And so one of the ways that we can start to shift our energy before we have a consciousness or a conscious understanding of what's going on is to get in that bath. Tell the water, I love you. Make it up beautiful with oils and flowers. Put incense on. Be very ritualistic about it. And if you can do it every day for the time that you need in terms of healing, every day. Even if it can't be this big, this big, beautiful bath every day, but it can be half a bathtub full, a fourth of a bathtub full, and a little bit of Epsom salt. And you're like, I love you. I love you, body, thank you. I love you, consciousness, thank you. Like, I love you. Get the vibration of love in you, whichever way you can. You can use that same concept through water. Love water. The color pink, so put it in pink glass and tape the word love so that love faces on the inside. Tape I love you. Tape you're beautiful, you're handsome, you got a giant penis. Yeah, like whatever is gonna make you feel loved, empowered, emboldened. That's the vibration that you want to get into that cup, right? And drink it first thing in the morning. It takes less than a minute to set up, right? And then you can start talking about patterns from a space of love. No one is adult or an idiot or a fool, or, some of us come from backgrounds where like, yeah, you look like Boo Boo the fool out there chasing love. Like, no, you're not. It's a normal human response. People do it all the time. We're designed to be communal. We're designed to chase love and to be stimulated in all ways because, like, the skin is sensitive. It wouldn't be so sensitive to touch if that wasn't part of our design. But then you can start narrowing down the times and spaces where you didn't honor yourself the same as you would honor a lover or a partner or a close friend. I love you all. Peace.